I'm John Sutherland, a rock journalist, and we're here today visiting with Tony Mc Alpine, who's just recorded 4 original songs for this video. Spend some time with us as we explore his guitar technique. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing fine, John. Having a good time today, and very excited about discussing the different techniques that I use on the guitar. And before we get started, why don't we tune up?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. We'll start with the E string. A. D. G. B. E. John, this tune's called Sammy Bone Shuffle.
I want to ask where you got the name.
Well, my bass player's daughter,
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so we'd write a song about her and dedicate it to her, and it's kind of a fun jam, up-tempo thing. And basically, Larry and I are playing a lot of the same unison lines together. And you'll notice the hammering type of bass line thing that I'm doing with the guitar. It's kind of a cool.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, sounds cool.
That's a rockin' tune to start with. I enjoyed a lot of that song. There's one thing that I wanted to ask you about the unison slapping that you're doing with Larry, the bass player. That really interesting technique. And what do you do with a pick when you're
Well,
using your thumb?
if I'm lucky enough, I can get the pick between my finger here, the joint, and the tip of my finger. And when I'm holding it in there, I'm tapping the notes. I'm tapping four notes, hammering them on and pulling up, just like a bass player would. Creates like a really funky kind of grooving sound. You can actually move that around the neck, and you can use that into any type of pattern that you really like.
That's a long way from the speed picking technique that you have mastered.
Well,
Could you show us some of your tricks?
Yeah, I think what happens is, as you play more and more and you start to experience more things in life, you start to, your appetite musically starts to expand. And I think basically that's a point in which we're, the road in which this new band is traveling to.
How did you develop your right hand to do some of the faster arpeggios that you do, particularly in this song?
I was really into a lot of the repetitive, picking patterns. A lot of the picking patterns where you'd really get involved with the pick and playing 3 notes on the string. And for instance, an exercise. That requires just a lot of alternate picking and perfect timing. If you're in a position where your pick is not in contact with the string at the same time the finger, comes down, you get a lot of string noise, and you really don't want that to happen.
How do you hold your pick, Tony? I mean,
I just go for a comfortable position.
Okay, that's comfortable to you. It
That's
looks like a
comfortable for me.
lot of it's back inside your hand.
Yeah, I tell a lot of students that I work with, and when I do master classes in clinic, just to be comfortable with your style, and don't try to copy somebody's certain pick style, but just hold it in a manner in which you're really comfortable with.
Well, I'm watching your hand. It looks like it's hardly even moving. It's just such an economy of motion.
Well, I believe in a lot of in the fact that too much motion is wasted energy, and a lot of times when I'm picking each of the notes, with a lot of aggression, and I want that heavy pick sound, there's a way to achieve that with just an equal balance of muting with the wrist here and a lot of tapping with the hand, and rolling on some of the notes that you happen not to be picking. For instance, if I'm coming into a run and I'd like to I'll just pick the top string here. I'll pick all the rest of them to get a really. I'm taking D, F, G, A, and B flat here, and I'm just hammering on the. Okay, in an inverted pattern under that, I'll pick the A and the B flat and hammer on the F and D. And carry that pattern really all over the neck. Sometimes I do it in a slightly arpeggiated form, down here with the first 3 strings, the E, A, and the D string. And I'll play like the C sharp, hammering on the C sharp minor triad, which is C sharp, E, and G sharp. It sounds like I'm picking a lot of the notes.
Use that in a lot of your songs. There's one passage in this song I noticed the sweeping arpeggios.
Oh yeah, the broken chord. Yeah, those particular chords that we're playing, that you heard the arpeggios, I'm playing a B, A, and a D and an E chord, and I'm playing them in this fashion where the A major, slide up to the D major, and the E major. So it's a cool little pattern. I like to. I really made that kind of smooth by taking it all over the neck. Making an exercise of it. Sliding the index finger up.
I notice at the end of that sweep that you're tapping the last note of each phrase. Where are you
I-
going with that?
Well, I use the finger to have an extended minor scale. In this pattern, I'm playing a C minor arpeggio here. I can take it in any direction really that I want within the minor scale pattern. That would be C, that's D, and E flat. You can slide your finger too to get different types of like bowed sounds. Also, you don't. I try to get away from that a little bit to break up the tone and.
You mean you go back and forth between the two different styles?
Exactly, and I'll incorporate the muffling and the economy picking again, just picking the top part of the run and hammering on the rest. Maybe employing the scale idea that we were talking about when we were.
Gives you a lot of freedom, so you
It
can
gives me freedom, yeah, so that I'm not really too concerned with where the position of pick is, because I don't want to be in a pattern where I take the pick away from the strings and I don't have the strength in my right hand to keep the soloing ideas together. So the technique should just be a tool, to utilize so you can express your musical ideas. So that's our leaning. It's basically just a lot of weight.
I've noticed one of the things about your playing, Tony, is that a lot of times people try to copy things exactly without understanding the concept. It's much more important to understand the concept of what you're trying to achieve. And that is probably what gives you the freedom that you have on the guitar when you can go so many different places with your ideas.
Exactly. I mean, for instance, there's a million different ways to play arpeggiated ideas. I try to do that a lot. Instead of just playing the triads, I play like sevens, major seven arpeggios, where an example C major seven, I'll have a C, E, G, and B, and I'll have a synthesized type of effect happening. Instead of just a raking, sweeping motion, I'll have more of a that's basically just C major seven. Seven being there and the octave being here.
It's a much more musical way to look at how the notes are put together.
Exactly. It gives me a lot of continuity with the instrument. It highlights my solos in different ways. That particular pattern, too, I'm utilizing a lot of pentatonic scales also, which is evident in the Sammy Bone Shuffle.
Yeah, it's part of the core of the song.
Yeah, instead of concentrating too much with the ideas of, the arpeggios, I build a lot of the function of the song, the mechanics of it around the pentatonic scale. The song's in F sharp minor, so we're starting with. So I've learned to rake the arpeggio in a pentatonic type fashion. Just really, your fingers are just fluttering along the. Pentatonic.
Did you encourage other players to when they compose, to use as many diverse ideas as you've used in this song? I mean, you've started out with a funky little groove, and you have the major sweeps. There's a lot to this song.
Yeah, well, I think it's very important when you're playing music to surround yourself with a very strong core of musicians. And, with the drummer that I have, Mike Tirana, and the bass player, Larry Dennison, these guys are very much into the exploration of trying different ideas and not getting locked into just one particular way to do things. And I think that that's where where our strength lies.
I noticed when you guys were taping these songs that you did 3 or 4 takes of each song, and every time the song was markedly different.
Well, that's because I'm not too interested in working out a lot of the the ideas that I'm trying to put down. I'm more involved in where playing from the heart comes from, and I think that can only be done with just the practice, just improvisation.
I was going to ask you about that because there's a solo you do at the end of this video that was the last thing you taped today, and it makes me wonder how much improvising do you do when you're soloing? Do you have a plan, or where do you go?
Oh,
with it?
definitely.
Just like basic overall theory, you're not the notes and the technical part.
Well, I get a lot of feeling from the chords of music, just from the the basic. I like to play around the strongest parts of the chords, which to me is a lot of times first 5 notes. And it builds around the the triads in the chords. And I definitely use a lot of vibrato in the techniques, because a lot of these different ideas that we do would come off sounding really cold if they didn't have that singer type tone.
Well, I would like to say it's a lyrical sounding, a way to play guitar.
Exactly. I need to have the guitar speak to me in certain ways, because it's just wood and steel, and if it's not, if it doesn't have that.
It's wood and steel and fingers and skin and bone too. I mean,
Exactly.
everybody can make the same guitar sound different.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very true.
Tony, let's take a look and listen to the next song, sweeping romantic ballad. What should we look for?
Well, John, I've always been very fascinated with those those type of songs. Ever since I think I really took a serious, in-depth look at it on the Maximum Security album with a song called "Tears of Sahara," and again on this new album, "Freedom to Fly," we have a song called "The Champion."
Very emotional playing on both songs.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Well, this particular song, we have the space of the actual trio here. I just thought that this was a very sad type of haunting little melody. I just feel that a lot of those different shades that you can get in music, you can achieve them, in different ways, instead of in just the intensity of the way that you play a passage, or the the type of notes that you play. Just the most simple things, to me, sometimes have a lot of feeling.
Let's check it out.